Scorpio, this weekend, an inevitable departure will happen. Get ready. This weekend, someone is leaving. It could be you who's leaving. It could be someone who's leaving your life. But one thing is certain. A separation you've been feeling for weeks, maybe months, is finally going to happen. And there's no way to avoid it. There's no way to postpone it. There's no way to pretend it's not happening. The universe has marked this weekend as the end of something that should have ended a long time ago. And you, deep down in your Scorpio heart, already know this. You've felt it, haven't you? That weight in your chest that won't go away. That feeling of premature farewell every time you look at that person, or that place, or that version of yourself that's about to die. You've been avoiding thinking about it, occupying your mind with 1,000 other things. But in the quiet hours of the early morning, when there's nowhere left to hide, you feel the truth pressing against your chest. Something is ending, and ending hurts. Even when it's necessary, especially when it's necessary. This isn't an ordinary breakup, the kind you get over in a few weeks. This is a breakup that will redefine your life, that will divide your existence into before and after, that will force you to confront parts of yourself you've been avoiding looking at. And however much it hurts, however much you want to hold on, however much part of you is still fighting the inevitable, deep down, you know that this separation is what will set you free. Can you feel the weight of that truth right now, tightening your chest as you read these words? Let me tell you who's leaving and why. Because you need to hear this from someone who won't spare you the truth. You need brutal clarity now. Don't give false hope or half-truths that will only prolong your agony. If it's you who's leaving, and you'll know if it is, it's because you've finally reached the point where the pain of staying outweighs the fear of leaving. You waited, you tried, you gave chances, you did the impossible to make it work, but you've reached the limit of your capacity to sustain the unsustainable. If someone else is leaving your life this weekend, know that they are leaving because their cycle with you has come to an end. It doesn't matter how much you loved them, how much you invested, how much you sacrificed. Some people come into our lives to teach us specific lessons, and when the lesson is over, they leave. And holding on to someone who has already decided to leave is like trying to hold water in your hands. You'll only hurt yourself more in the process. The stars show that this week will be marked by important discoveries, especially those related to trust and personal relationships. A mistake, a choice, or an attitude taken by a man from his circle, this could be a partner, ex, friend, or family member, is about to be exposed. And when the truth comes out, it will be impossible to continue pretending that nothing has changed. The universe wants to show you who truly deserves to be by your side and who was just taking up space. You may not be emotionally prepared for what's coming, but his soul already knows that something is coming, and you are stronger than ever to deal with this. You may notice strange or evasive conversations, sudden change in behavior, feelings of alertness or discomfort when being near this person, or even someone revealing information to you that changes everything. Scorpio, you are a master at sensing what is hidden, and now this sensitivity will be your best ally. The mistake made by this male figure may have been betrayal, a cover-up lie, or an omission that completely changes your perspective on the situation. The revelation may come by chance, but nothing will happen by chance. For Scorpios, born between October 23rd and November 2nd, this weekend's departure is related to a romantic love or a deep friendship that has become toxic. Someone will finally admit they can't continue, or you will finally have the courage to say, you deserve better. The conversation you've been avoiding for months will happen, and there will be no going back. For those born between November 3rd and 12th, the departure is from a situation, not necessarily a person, a job, a place, a lifestyle that no longer serves you. You will make a radical decision that will shock those around you, but will save your soul. And for those born between November 13th and 21st, the departure is internal. You will separate yourself from an old version of yourself that is preventing you from evolving. It will be like dying while still alive, and it will be the most liberating death you have ever experienced. But regardless of the specific nature of the departure, the pattern is the same. You can no longer sustain what you're sustaining. And this weekend, the universe will orchestrate events that will make separation inevitable. It could be a conversation that triggers the end. It could be a revelation that makes it impossible to continue pretending. It could simply be you waking up one morning this weekend and knowing with absolute certainty that you can no longer live this way. And when that moment arrives, you will know. You will feel it in your body. You will see it with crystal clarity. And there will be no going back. Scorpio, I know you are the sign of intensity, of fierce loyalty, of the capacity to love so deeply that it borders on obsessive. I know that when you connect with something or someone, you connect with everything, mind, body, soul. I know that letting go is one of the hardest things for you because it means admitting that what you fought so hard for cannot be saved. It means recognizing that even your powerful love, your unwavering dedication, your will to make it work, none of it was enough, and that feeling of inadequacy will cut deep. But here's the truth you need to hear. It wasn't your inadequacy. It was incompatibility. It was bad timing. It was two realities that can't coexist in the same space any longer. Some things simply aren't meant to last forever, no matter how much you want them to. And recognizing that isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's emotional maturity of the highest level. It's you honoring reality instead of fighting against it. The match that will take place this weekend is not punishment. It's liberation. It's the universe forcing you to let go of something you would never have the courage to let go of willingly. Because you are a Scorpio, you hold on tight. You don't give up easily. You fight until your last breath. And that's exactly why sometimes the universe needs to intervene and snatch from your hands what you insist on holding on to even when it's hurting you. In the days leading up to this weekend, you will feel a growing tension, as if you were walking towards a precipice, as if each step takes you closer to something inevitable and irreversible. Don't fight this feeling. It's your intuition preparing you for what's coming. It's your soul organizing internal resources to survive what will happen. It's your higher self ensuring that when the time comes, you will have the strength to do what needs to be done. And when the moment of parting arrives, when the conversation happens, when the decision is made, when the end materializes, allow yourself to feel everything. Don't repress it. Don't minimize it. Don't try to be strong before the time. If you need to cry, cry until you have no more tears. If you need to scream, scream until your throat hurts. If you need to remain silent for hours, just processing the magnitude of what just happened, do it. There is no right or wrong way to process a departure. There is only your way, and it is valid. Scorpio, you also need to know that this departure is not the end of your story. It's the end of a chapter. And however painful it may be to close a chapter that you loved, that defined you, that occupied so much space in your life, you can't start the next chapter without closing this one. The page needs to be turned, the book needs to continue, and you need to continue. Even if at this moment you can't imagine how. Here's what will happen after the departure. First, there will be shock. Even if you knew it was coming, the reality of the separation will hit you like a punch in the gut. Everything will seem surreal. You'll pick up the phone to call the person and remember you can't anymore. You'll think about going to the place and realize you don't belong there anymore. You'll try to be who you were before and discover that that person died along with the one who left. The shock lasts a few days, sometimes weeks. Let it pass. Don't try to rush it. Then comes the acute pain. This is the phase where you physically feel the absence, where every room in your house holds memories, where every song on the radio seems to have been written about your loss, where you wake up in the middle of the night with your chest so tight it feels like you're going to suffocate. This phase is the worst. It feels like it will never end, But it will. I promise it will. You just need to survive it one day at a time, sometimes 1 hour at a time, sometimes 1 minute at a time. Then comes the anger. Anger at having to go through this. Anger at the person who left or the situation that forced you to leave. Anger at yourself for not seeing the signs sooner. Anger at the universe for allowing you to love something that wasn't meant to last. This anger is sacred. Don't suppress it. It's the fuel that will pull you out of the paralysis of pain and set you in motion again. It's what will give you the energy to start rebuilding when you feel you have no strength left. Then, gradually, comes acceptance. It doesn't happen all at once. It's not a moment where you wake up and everything is all right. It's a slow process where, day after day, you get used to the new reality, where the absence begins to hurt less, where you can think about what was without being completely destroyed by longing, where you begin to see possibilities where before you only saw emptiness. Acceptance doesn't mean you've forgotten. It means you've learned to live with the memory without being consumed by it. And finally, eventually comes the transformation. This is the magical part of the process. It's when you look back and realize that the departure that almost destroyed you actually rebuilt you into something stronger, wiser, more authentic. It's when you recognize that you needed that separation to find parts of yourself that were lost. It's when you give thanks, not for the pain, but for the growth that was only possible through it. Scorpio, you are the sign of death and rebirth. You know this process better than anyone else. You've been through it before in different ways, and you will go through it again, because transformation isn't something that happens once in a lifetime. It's the constant cycle of dying to old versions and being reborn into new ones. And this weekend marks the beginning of one of those profound metamorphoses that will define who you are. The person or situation that is leaving is not what truly matters. What matters is who you will become on the other side of this separation. What matters are the lessons you will carry with you. What matters is the strength you will discover you had but didn't know you had. What matters is the freedom you will find when you stop carrying a burden that wasn't yours to bear. In the days following the departure, you will have to make decisions about what to do with the memories, the belongings, the physical traces of what was. Some people say to throw everything away immediately. Others say to keep everything as sacred relics. I say, do what your heart tells you. If you need to burn letters and delete photos to be able to breathe, do it. If you need to keep a box of memories at the back of the closet because you're not ready to let go completely, do it. There is no instruction manual for grief. There is only you navigating uncharted waters as best you can. You'll also have to deal with other people, those who will ask what happened, those who will take sides, those who will offer unsolicited advice on how you should feel or what you should do. Set clear boundaries. You don't owe anyone detailed explanations. A simple, we're going our separate ways, or I decided I needed a change, is enough. Your pain isn't entertainment for onlookers. Your departure doesn't need to be justified to an audience. Some people will disappear from your life along with what is left. That's normal. Some friendships exist within specific contexts and don't survive outside of them. Let them go without bitterness. And other people you least expected, will appear with genuine support exactly when you need it most. Those are the ones you'll want to keep close. Scorpio, I also need to prepare you for the temptation that will come, because it will come. Whether it's the temptation to return to what you left behind, whether it's the temptation to immediately fill the void with another person, another situation, another addiction. Resist. The void needs to exist for a while. It is in it that real transformation happens. It is in the empty space that you finally have room to grow in directions that were previously impossible because you were too busy sustaining what shouldn't be sustained. If the person who left tries to come back, and there's a chance they will, you'll need a lot of clarity to decide what to do. Ask yourself, what has changed? If nothing has fundamentally changed, Going back would only be repeating the same painful cycle with an identical result. But if there are real changes, genuine inner work, substantial transformations on both sides, then perhaps it's worth considering. But be brutally honest with yourself. Don't confuse longing with compatibility. Don't confuse familiarity with healthy love. Don't confuse fear of loneliness with a genuine desire for reconnection. The truth is that in most cases, when something needs to leave, it needs to leave forever. Exceptions exist, but they are rare. And you'll know if it's an exception or if it's just your heart trying to convince you to go back to what's comfortable, even if it's destructive. Your Scorpio intuition doesn't fail when you truly listen. The problem is that sometimes we don't want to listen because we don't like what it's saying. During this weekend, while the match is happening, remember to breathe. It seems like obvious advice, but in moments of intense pain, we literally forget to breathe properly. Deep, slow breaths will help you maintain some composure when you feel like you're about to completely fall apart. They will give you precious seconds to process before reacting. They will connect you with your body when your mind is panicking. It also allows for farewell rituals if needed. Write a letter you'll never send, saying everything you need to say. Visit the place one last time and consciously say goodbye. Hold a private ceremony just for yourself, marking the end of this chapter. Scorpio understands the power of rituals, understands that symbolic acts have real weight. Use this to your advantage to create closure when the universe doesn't provide a clean and clear ending. And in the days and weeks that follow, when you're in the midst of the healing process, be kind to yourself. You don't need to be well immediately. You don't need to overcome it by a specific time frame. You don't need to fake strength you don't feel. Healing isn't linear. Some days you'll wake up feeling like you're getting better. Other days you'll wake up feeling like you're back to square one. Both are part of the process. Both are valid. Both are temporary. Build a new routine. Don't try to keep life exactly as it was before the departure because it wasn't anymore. Create new patterns, new schedules, new rituals, new habits. This will help you adapt to the new reality instead of constantly comparing the present with the past. This will give you structure when everything seems chaotic. This will give you purpose when everything seems meaningless. Invest in yourself. Use the energy that was going towards what left and redirect it towards your own growth. Learn something new, develop a skill, take care of your body, nourish your mind, feed your soul. You finally have the time and space to focus on yourself in ways that weren't possible before. Don't waste it drowning your pain in empty distractions. Transform that pain into fuel for your evolution. And eventually, when you least expect it, you'll realize you've spent an entire day without thinking about what is left. Then you'll realize a week has passed, then a month. And one day, you'll look back and see the departure not as the worst thing that ever happened to you, but as the necessary catalyst to become who you were always meant to be. Scorpio, this weekend's departure is inevitable, but destruction isn't. You can let it break you beyond recovery, or you can let it break you open, making room inside you for things that didn't fit before. The choice is yours. The pain will be the same regardless of your choice, but the outcome will be completely different. The challenge will be accepted without seeking to control. Scorpio has the drive to go all the way, understand everything, resolve everything, and avoid cutting ties. But now, the universe demands delivery. You don't need to resist. You need trust. This departure is inevitable because his soul yearns for freedom, for lightness, for more genuine relationships, and sometimes for something new to be born. Something old needs to go away. The opportunity here is enormous, to close a poorly resolved emotional cycle, breaking free from patterns of attachment or suffering, saying goodbye to someone who was once important but now prevents you from moving on. This departure could be temporary or permanent, but in either case, it brings a new level of awareness. You will look back with compassion and to understand that if that person is leaving, it's because you are heading towards something bigger. The revelation this weekend is clear. Not every loss is a tragedy. Some are blessings in disguise. You will be able to say goodbye to someone from an emotional cycle, or a part of you that no longer belongs to the present. And when that match happens, silence will speak louder than words. You will feel that, even with pain, everything is fine. Scorpio, you weren't born to live for goals, not even to carry over what has already expired. This farewell will open a door, and on the other side, you will find a new version of yourself, lighter, more aware, stronger. And you, Scorpio, do you feel like something is slipping away from your life in recent days? Did you realize that this farewell was approaching? If this message has reached you, it's because you are about to go through this experience or have just gone through it. Share in the comments simply, "I let go." 3 words that mark your willingness to accept what cannot be changed. 3 words that affirm your courage to release what you can no longer hold on to. 3 words that declare your faith that something better is waiting on the other side of this pain. Subscribe to the channel because in the coming days and weeks, I will be bringing specific content on how to navigate the grieving process, how to rebuild your life after a significant loss, and how to recognize when you have truly moved on versus when you are just suppressing it. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any guidance that will support you during this phase. This is your moment of death, Scorpio. The moment where you let go of what needs to die so that something new can be born. The departure will happen, the pain will come, but on the other side, transformation awaits you. And you will emerge stronger, wiser, freer than you have ever been. Trust the process, trust the pain, trust yourself. You have already survived 100% of the worst things that have ever happened to you, and you will survive this one too.